So, for this, I really just wanted to take you through a bit of a process approach. Um, it does accompany another video, which is more of one of the plans. But anyway, this is pretty common for anyone looking to kind of get better at something. So, um, but one of the things in like process optimization and improvement and things like that is something called plan, do, check, and then act. And kind of how I think about this is in the plan, it's what do I want to achieve? Um, do I want to understand better a 1-6-2-5? Do I want to take dominant scales through the cycle? Do I want to learn more tunes? Do I want to learn solos? And there's different approaches to all of that. And it's not so much as that I want to disagree with any particular approach. The point that I embody is that try them. Just try all the approaches. And this process will enable you to reflect on what went well, what didn't, and then refine it. So plan. So then, and really, in the plan as well, there can be research and discussion. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm making this video, is because I'm all about exploring practice methodologies. It's really one of my favorite things to do is think about this kind of stuff. And whether or not that in itself makes me a better jazz musician, I don't know. Like, I don't, probably not. But what I can say is it makes me really good at figuring out what works best for me. That is the thing that this approach has done for me. What works best for me? What makes me more comfortable in improvising over changes? Yeah. So then you're in do. The do part is lay out your plan, do it, and then kind of it's part of your planning too. So you want to execute, um, and then as part of the doing. So say you found a lick and you want to take it through all 12 keys. It's like, okay, well, now you got to do it. Now, don't be too hard on yourself, because in the do phase, you don't necessarily need to do it through all 12 keys, even though that's, the best approach or whatever. But there are things that you want to get out of it. So, um, again, like a purpose and intent around the planning is so important. There are a lot of things that I've tried to do and I've thought about them and I've got my fingers around them, and then I took them into the changes and they just didn't sound right. And that's why I say some of the things that, I've talked about in previous videos is just articulation is so important. So that's why it's like, you know, so I think, somebody I think told me a couple times, you got to play with feel, you got to play with feel. I never really understood what that meant. And if somebody had just said, "Stay, well, you got to play with articulation," I'm like, oh, okay, well, okay, that makes more sense to me. I always feel that I'm playing with feel and emotion or whatever, but trying to get the right feeling, the right articulation to sit in the groove and time, feel, and blah blah blah. So the do part is just executing on the plan, right? And then the check. So I keep a journal, which I'll show you here in a minute. But yeah, I keep a journal of all the things I've done. I keep important milestones and important progress. Um, most recently I took rhythm changes through all 12 keys. It took me 2 months. Um, I put together something like 50 videos so that I could reflect on them and see what I did well. Right now I'm working through I Fall in Love Too Easily. and I'm giving that tune a lot of respect because it goes through a lot. It goes through a lot of three unique sort of changes. There's a couple unique things in there, but anyway. So, my plan is, can I for that tune, can I get to the level of fluidity in playing through those changes that I felt when I was playing through rhythm changes? And how I'm checking that is like, it's a little bit involved, but like I'll do, you know, um, I'll plan some practice sessions, right? And I'll say I'm going to do this, this, and this, and then I'm going to do them, and then I'll record the video and I'll reflect on what had happened, and whether or not it feels fluid or sounds fluid, or whether I felt free or whether it sounds free. Did I respect the changes? Did I phrase properly? Did I resolve? And what I'm finding is, um, with each recorded session, um, there might be a very specific thing I want to get out of it. And that's the thing that I record and check. Maybe I do, 5 different things in the practice sessions. And maybe when I go to record, there's just one very specific thing that I'm looking for. So check is videos. And the other thing is keeping a detail log. And for me, whether it's, recording these videos, communicating with people in the jazz space, listening to jazz music, I note it. I note it as, I don't think about only my instrument time as practice. I think about the rest that I need to do in between sessions. I think about this video. I think about, did I just like visualize these changes for 15 minutes? I'm going to write that down. Be gentle. And I think what you'll find with yourself is that over time, you start to want to focus on different things that you've logged as music related in order to improve your playing in different ways. And I also find that really interesting, right? I find that concept really interesting. Okay, so then we're at act. So what are you finding out? What are you finding out in what you've listened to from your videos? And then you're going to make a new plan. And then you're going to make a new plan and go through the cycle again. So this is the plan, do, check, act philosophy that I employ through a whack of different things, but especially when it comes to jazz practicing. And again, I'm not suggesting that one way is better than the other. I'm not suggesting that, theoretical approaches are better than, a melodic approach or whatever. What I'm saying is that have a way to reflect on your playing and maybe even get the ears of other people, right? Like in the Learn Jazz Standards community, big shout out to them, is that you can post these videos and get instantaneous feedback on what you're doing. Yeah, so that's the plan, do, check, act philosophy, and in my opinion, it's there are different versions and iterations of this, but I just feel that it's so important.